Hallo meine Damen und Herren und willkommen to this next episode, The Greatest Scams of Our Time. I may remind you of something very important. This is TikTok, which means this content is for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, clearly, natürlich. Any resemblance to historical figures, living or dead, is purely coincidental and also slightly profitable. If there are any accuracies in dates, names, or historical events, please forgive me. In times where the truth is negotiable, let's just say I'm working with what's available. The senior partner doesn't provide footnotes. So, take what serves you and leave what doesn't. Meine Lieben, I want you to ask yourselves a question, a simple question. Are we witnessing the greatest scams in the history of mankind? Not just one scam, no, a symphony of scams, a grand opera of larceny. And it feels to me like the puppets are gathering as much as they can before jumping off the sinking ship. The rats are not just leaving, they're taking the silverware with them. Let's look at the evidence, shall we? First, as I mentioned in a previous footnote, we have the Trump clan and their fortuitous timing. 2 days before Daddy started his little firework display in Iran, his son bought oil options for $30 million. 30 million. And now, voila, Chevron stock is at an all-time high, Exxon is soaring, Occidental is having a party. The bombs cost a few million of your taxpayer money, people are dead, and the clan is $1 billion richer. Coincidence? Natürlich, just like everything else. But wait, there's a second act to this opera. You see, while the son was buying oil futures, the father was hosting a very important meeting in Washington. The first gathering of his Board of Peace. Board of Peace has a nice ring, no? Like a Ministry of Truth? They met to pledge billions of dollars to rebuild Gaza. 7 billion from Arab states, 10 billion from the US, all for peace and stability, they said. And now, just a few weeks later, the whole Middle East is drowning in a devastating war. No way! Those great Arab businessmen, with all their billions, they fell for it? They invested in a peace council from a man they've watched scam everyone for 50 years? Didn't they see the indicator when Donald had to return the Nobel Peace Prize? Don't they know that the US always gets to keep everything after a war? During 500 years, the United States has tricked countries with fake friendship deals that always turn deadly for the populations who cooperated. So why in all hell's sake would it be different this time? This is why I think history and psychology should be the most important classes at school. They are not the only ones who have been scammed, of course. But one thing I must give Donald, he is a hell of a thief. Let us examine his curriculum vitae, shall we? First of all, he is a convicted felon. How on earth can a convicted felon become president of the United States? The only answer I can find, and I am a strategist, I use logic, is that the United States is an outlaw country. This can only happen in a place that has no laws, or at least laws that apply to different people in different ways. You may ask, what about you, Adolf? Yes, I know, my case was different. I was a political prisoner. Political prisoners always end up back in politics. It's their métier. Either they gain power, or they go to the opposition. But Trump, his case is of the variety where convicted felons end up in prison for a very long time. Most of the time, they do not even survive the incarceration. And yet, here he sits in the Oval Office, a free man. The Epstein files that prove his direct implication in those atrocities towards children? They are sitting there, and he is the president. This shows you how corrupt the country and its system truly are. Now, we all know Bibi and his clan are the ones pulling many of these strings. They've infiltrated, shall we say, 90% of the system. All the people working in the institutions that should act against Trump, they are blocked. Locked, no one moves because they are all in it. This means the United States is led by a pedo-criminal gang. And they hold all the power. So why is nobody protesting? Why are the people silent? As I have been saying, meine Lieben, they are in a comfortable cage. Shiny gadgets, dopamine hits. Who has time to think about Epstein when a new TikTok dance drops? They want to keep lying for the deep state, but they are having a very hard time doing it when everything is becoming so obvious. Boy, will that be a bomb when the deep state collapses. So, on one side, you have a terrorist who became prime minister of let's call it a historically complex state. And the US is totally under his control. On the other side, you have a perverted felon in plain sight as president of the most powerful country in the world. Where does all this stop? Or is this just the beginning? Remember I told you a few footnotes ago about the 3 ways to lose a war? Well, meine Lieben, I have a solution. One of them is fighting on multiple fronts. You thought I was advising the US not to do that? Nine. I am advising everyone else to build multiple fronts. Saturate the Trump administration with attacks at all levels. Imagine if the whole US population went on strike, just stopped. That alone would crush the government. Imagine strikes in every state, boycotting everything. Of course, they would keep on printing money, but the general instability would push certain agents to resign and allow a cleaning of the system. Imagine all the countries of the world building fronts against the US and its allies, boycotting every economic deal, redirecting those deals amongst each other and building new cooperatives where the US and its allies would be just tolerated. closing all American military bases worldwide. Just that alone, it would destroy America in less than 5 days. The problem is, the US was built on theft. They do not know how to deal on a partnership basis. And maybe they wouldn't even sustain as a whole. Maybe they would become balkanized, smaller individual countries with their own governments. I guess Florida would then become the new state of Israel. It would have to be erased from the map of the Middle East, so they'd just move it. Put it next to Disney World. Very convenient. But there is another possibility, a darker one, because a wounded animal is most dangerous when it's cornered. America today is bathing in a boiling, Scheiße soup, a shit soup, and it's starting to spill over onto the rest of the world. Let me explain the recipe. You have a government that has been printing money like there's no tomorrow. Taxes stayed low, artificially, politically low, while spending went to the moon. The national debt? 101% of GDP and climbing. The Congressional Budget Office says it will hit 120% by 2036. And here's the problem, meine Lieben. All that money, eventually someone has to pay it back. Think of Germany after World War II. We had to pay for the whole war. Reparations, debts, restitution. It crushed us for years. America is looking at the same mirror, a mountain of obligations, and the bill is coming due. So what does a wounded empire do when it faces multiple fronts, empty coffers, and nowhere to run? They look at the red button. The United States is the only country that has actually used nuclear weapons in war. Japan, 1945. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. 100,000 people gone in an instant. Japan, they kept testing. Bikini Atoll, the Marshall Islands. Dozens of bombs, poisoning islands they didn't have to live on. They have done it before. They can do it again. Imagine the scenario. The world builds multiple fronts against them. Economic collapse, domestic strikes, military bases closing everywhere. The empire is dying, and the people at the top? They are not going to go quietly. They are not going to face the courts, the debt collectors, the consequences of their theft. They will reach for the button. And here's the darkest part. They have nothing to lose. If the ship is sinking anyway, why not take everyone with you? Why not solve your debt problem by removing the problem, the ultimate default? So yes, America could be balkanized, split into smaller pieces. Maybe Florida becomes the new Israel. Yes, very funny. But it could also become something much worse. A cornered animal with nuclear teeth, thrashing in its final agony. And the rest of the world? They just have to hope the beast dies before it bites. This scenario painting, a desperate empire with nuclear options, is speculative but grounded in real historical patterns of how declining powers behave. The next problem for the world is that not everyone is dancing at the same party, which makes the multi-front tactic very improbable, utopisch. You would also need the mainstream media to play along, and that will not happen as long as they are under the devil's paw. Unless the people really start unfollowing mainstream media. So, what do you think? Are you a chicken in a cage, or are you ready to see the walls? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The more we connect, the harder we are to ignore. Prost, meine Lieben.
Prost!